My day today starts by watching the EDS team, the Elite Development Squad, playing against Liverpool. And with 5 minutes to go here, noon kickoff, City leading by 3-1. Which is never bad, is it? I'm sure you've heard that expression that a week is a long time in politics, and it's certainly been a long week to be a Manchester City fan this week. Since last weekend's defeat at Tottenham in the Premier League, a lot has happened. I've seen some really bitter, angry stuff that's been written about City or said about City from rival fans. I've also seen some very sensible accounts by a fan called David Walker, for example, an article in The Sun on Sunday that were very good and very illustrative, really, of what's behind the accusations that have been made at City. It doesn't alter what I believe, which having watched Pep Guardiola, is that City have done nothing wrong, but we'll see. The key thing today against Aston Villa is what mood will the fans be in. Obviously on social media there's been a lot of, we're going to rally around the team and there's going to be a welcoming reception for the team coach when it arrives. And how will the players react and the manager react? And just to complicate it today, I've been invited to a birthday party in the Legends Lounge, so you'll get to see what it's like in there on a match day too. So bring it on. Let's see what the fans are thinking today then, as if it's never been done with the blue.
It's great to see him doing so well. It's another level to when I was here. I don't really have an opinion on it purely because you have to hear the facts, you have to hear the evidence. Everybody should be allowed to see it. I hope that from my heart City have done the right thing and they've done it properly, which they say they have. So I just want success and happiness for the club. It's an amazing club with an incredible backing from fans. It's a special club, so it'd be disappointed as a fan as well to see anything negative happen to them. But you have to let the process take place. An old cliche, trust the process, and hopefully City come out the other end in a good place.
You are much beloved. I mean, your celebration at Blackburn will be ingrained in my memory forever. Is it ingrained in your memory?
It is indeed, yeah. I think when you play football, you're involved for so long, there's certain things that stick out, and we all have good times and bad times, but that was a good time for sure.
So obviously club under siege a little bit at the moment. How are you feeling as an ex-Blue?
Disappointing with the reports coming out and stuff. I suppose we'll get to the bottom of it eventually whenever the dust settles, but I think the players and the manager got to focus on the football. Obviously Arsenal dropped 2 more points yesterday, so hopefully they can get a victory today, back on track, and put the pressure on Arsenal at the top.
Guardiola was very robust in his defence on Friday, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's not nice because he's been told that they've done nothing wrong and stuff, so Pep's a football guy, he's not the finance guy, so he's been asked some tricky questions this week, so it's not easy to answer them as well. But I think what maybe he can do is focus the players on the game. It's a tough game today against Aston Villa, obviously under a new manager, Unai Emery as well. He's doing a good job there, so the players and the manager and the staff, they have to focus on the job in hand, get the 3 points, and let the people upstairs focus on the other side of the game.
It's like a big moment for City, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but it's all big moments. It's a big moment in the season. We're just talking about football. It's a big moment, because they play Arsenal midweek as well. So if they can win today, it closes the gap, and then it's a huge game midweek as well. So I think it's an exciting time. It's an exciting game today.
As a sitting MP, one of the accusations that's been made this week is that the timing of the various accusations that have been made by the Premier League are because of a government white paper that was due to come out. Do you believe that?
I do. I believe it very much. I think this is an attempted drive-by shooting by the Premier League to try and do City in, because they know City is a supporter regulator. What they wanted to do is try and make an example of City, to say that there's been bad governance and there's been malpractice, as if they're all whiter than white and they've done nothing wrong over the years. I mean, I don't believe for a minute that City will be found guilty. I think this is an attempt to try and make them look tough in terms of governance, and I do think we'll be vindicated by the approach that the board has taken and the way the club has handled its business.
You sound as if you're quite angry about it all.
I'm furious. As I say, it's an attempted drive-by shooting. City were given no notice that this was going to be done when it was done, and the press were told at the same time that City were told, and the stuff was put out in the public domain. This is trial by media, and it's outrageous. We've got to sit here now until this investigation's finished, however many months or years it lasts, and it'll be trial by media. It'll be drip, drip, drip. And then by the end of the day, when they do come to a decision, then we'll see what happens and whether or not the Premier League actually get their just desserts, which I think is City at some stage possibly taking them to court.
The main thing is City win and carry on winning, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm optimistic that, confident that today they'll turn out a good performance against Aston Villa, and if they do well there and they do well against Arsenal next week, I can see them knocking on the door of the Championship again. So, I think there's a lot to fight for, and I think the players today will be more motivated than any time in City's history to go out there and make sure they make a good fist of it.
Sense of deja vu in a very nasty way. Here we go again is the name of the blog, and obviously it's a rerun to some degree of what City tried to, they were stitched up by the cartel from UEFA, and this possibly has more serious implications. The Premier League are obviously on a witch hunt fueled by United, Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, Pep was positively gladiatorial in his press conference on Friday. He was magnificent. He has every confidence in Khaldoon and his bosses. We as City fans have to rally round the club. We have to know that we have to have complete faith and trust in the club. Not blind faith, but let's face it, we know that they're out to get us. Those who have denied the existence of a City agenda for years are talking out of their backside. So we'll take them on. I'm 99.9% convinced we will win again. And when we do, we don't just say, okay, we've won. This time, we turn defence into offence and we go after everybody who has basically tried to slander us, they've libelled us, they've besmirched our reputation, they've tried to ruin our business, they've tried to ruin us as a club. So let's go after the Premier League, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, et al. Let's leave no stone unturned and let's say to the Premier League, right, you put your own house in order, that'll take some doing, and let's have the same level of scrutiny that we've been subjected to applied to every bugger else. Excuse me for swearing.
Or C, Arsenal. I'm feeling confident, me. I'm feeling as though Premier League can kiss our ass, to be quite honest with you. We're going to win it hands down. Pep's got the art, the club's got the art, the fans have got the art. Let's go on, let's show them it's a corrupting league, it's no good. Let's rip the rule book up, show them how it should be done.
Starting with a win today.
Definitely 4-1, definitely 4-1 Ian, definite.
Everything means everything to me. I just love the club, It's obviously changed, tremendously since I was here, but I just love everything about it, and we're just so lucky to be City fans at the moment, even with all the stuff going on, in the background. But it's brilliant. Love the club.
How do you feel about all that?
I trust the club. It's like Pep said. He said they've done nothing wrong, so you kind of believe that, and until proven, guilty or otherwise. So, I don't think the chairman would allow that sort of stuff to happen anyway. So, hopefully, it's not true.
As a goalkeeper, do you look at Edison and wonder whether you would have fitted into a team like this? Do you have those football skills?
No, I don't know. I never have had. I look at Edison and he's just a different class. Look at him with his ball at his feet and his composure. And I've never seen a goalkeeper like him before. And I actually think he's probably the best keeper in the world at the moment. I know others will say otherwise, but for me, he's the best goalkeeper.
So Frank, you're the original person, believe it or not, who brought in the inflatable bananas back in the 1980s.
It was a long time ago.
What was the reason you did that?
A friend of mine had a banana. I saw it when I went round to his house, and I just said, "Can I borrow that? I want to take it to a match." And he said, "Well, as long as you actually use it." So I did. And when I went to a game, I think it was Liverpool in the Cup, we lost 4-0. But a friend of mine painted a face on the banana and put a hat on it and a scarf, and it took on its own personality.
It became Eamar Banana, didn't it?
Well, the chant at the time was Eamar Varadi, and that morphed into Eamar Banana.
So you're part of City's history, aren't you?
If you want to look at it that way, yeah.
What do you think's going to happen today?
Oh, we need a win. We need a win.
First of all, happy birthday, Phil.
Thank you.
Now, you're a long-standing fan
Yeah.
who campaigned for safe standing many years ago. I've talked to you about this so many times in the past, and here we have it now at the Etihad.
And here I am in the posh lounge, not standing up.
Well, what do you think of it?
It's funny because it was 2000 when I started it, and we always joked that by the time they got it in, I'd be too old to stand anyway. So, but it's good. It's really good. If only they'd listened to us to begin with, and there's absolutely no reason. Well, we know why they wouldn't. But we always knew, not in an arrogant way, that we had all the answers, and they didn't, and they just kept fighting it, denying it, whatever. So see us finally get what we were fighting for was good, and it was worth a 20-year fight, and that was through to myself, supporters clubs, the Football Supporters Association, as it was then the FSA now, and a lot of work went behind it. It was worth it. It's good.
So you're going to win today?
3-0.
Manchester City 3, Aston Villa.
I thought it was great. Great first half. I thought the City were back to their old self. It was good to see Diaz and Laporte in there. I thought players were back to form, and it was good to see good team spirit.
You think that what's happened this week has made a difference?
I think so, yeah. I think it's brought everybody together, including the fans and the players, and it's good to see everybody getting behind them.
First half, a bit down second half, didn't really push it like we did, but the first half was best game for quite a while, I think. The first 45 minutes for a while, really, yeah.
You feel that was a response to what's happened this week?
Especially the first half, and I think Guardiola was good as well, because in that interval he was like a supporter. That's what comes to me. He felt it, and he felt it a lot, and I thought the first half was a good performance, yeah, really good.
I thought to myself it was okay. I knew they'd score. I knew the problem is we'd always playing goals and we always go against us. But it was okay. Room for improvement.
How do you feel now going forward to the next game at Arsenal?
I think it's going to be a tough one, but I think we'll do it.
You're confident now?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant game. All the goals on our end as well. And yeah, what a result. I thought it was a great way to respond back as well from the accusations that we've had, and Pep's interview that he came out with the other day. I thought it was so good. I think it's probably give a bit of spirit to the fans, a bit of spirit to the players, and yeah, what a result to come back from that.
The crowd was singing some interesting chants today, weren't they?
Yeah, we were saying F Premier League because, you know, they're against us right now, but I believe that we'll be innocent. I believe City will go unbeaten for the rest of the season because we've got the spirit now, we've got the hunger to just prove everyone wrong.
So you're confident for Arsenal then?
I am. I'm very confident. I think we'll do the double over them home and away. I think Arsenal, they haven't won in 3 games now as well. So I think we'll go unbeaten for the rest of the season, honestly. I believe it. We'll go on another long run, like we always do.
Cheesy, as you know, I am a lifelong City fan, and just being here on this occasion, because we've been invited by our dear friend Phil Gate and me to celebrate a significant birthday for both of us. But just being here on this occasion means so much, because of course Phil, by writing the book Teenage Kids, brought my brother John back into City history where he belongs. So it's been about the occasion and seeing Peter Barnes, Joe Corrigan, Lakey, Steve Compton, and of course Ian Brightwell, people who were with my brother. Again, the memories have just been flooding back. So getting a 3-1 win and actually calling it has been just an extra bonus, really.
This is a pretty special place to come and have a big celebration, isn't it?
It is. It's incredibly special, and just to see the old faces, and of course Tommy Booth as well, it's been amazing. And of course my son Zach, who has grown up here and at Wembley Stadium as well, because he's been lucky enough to be born at the time when City started regularly visiting Wembley. So it's just, you know, an incredibly special place to be on a special occasion.
I never thought I'd use the phrase a game of two halves, but I'm going to use it for that one. The first half I thought was wonderful, brilliant, the football, everything. The second half I thought was dreadful, one of the worst halves of football that I've seen for a bit. So, but the game was won, so I'm not complaining. I'm just comparing, and you know, I was really disappointed with the second half.
Where does this leave City now going into this big game against Arsenal?
Well, at half time, as I've just been saying, I was bouncing and thinking, you know, wish we could play Arsenal tomorrow. But you know, I'm sure it won't be the same against Arsenal. I'm sure that we'll play brisk passing football right the way through, as opposed to taking the foot off the pedal and trying to get as many passes together as we possibly could, which is what we were trying to do in the second half. So it will be difficult. Arteta's got them well set up. They've got their own individual players who are playing well, Saka and Ødegaard, etc. They're a really formidable unit. If we get something there, we'll have done really, really well.
Really obviously enjoyed the first half, and all the 3 goals were in front of us. So it was a real good performance that was much needed after the Spurs game. Second half was a little bit flat, but I think they took the pulse off, because obviously we want to save ourselves for Arsenal. Before the game I said it was 3-0. My grandson Lucas said it was going to be, and who was right? He was right. I was wrong.
You've had a good day, haven't you?
I've had a great day, and thanks for you and for coming, and Susan and my friends and everything. It's my first time in the Legends Lounge. I'll start saving up for a second.
My first too, so thank you for inviting me.
No problem.
Happy birthday.
You too, thanks.
My first experience in the Legends Lounge, and it's a City victory. And a thoroughly professional victory as well. I know there was a goal conceded in the second half, but still a very good performance by City, and a good way to respond to those Premier League charges. On to the next one now. Neda Manua is on my audio podcast, which I'll be recording later this evening, so make sure you have a listen to that. And of course I'll be down at the Emirates on Wednesday evening for the big one so far, Arsenal against City. Thanks very much to Eamar Development UK, to Timpson and to RRG Group for their support. And don't worry about what they all think, everybody else. Just remember this, it's great to be a Blue.